Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
My desk is getting so crowded because I'm doing all this prep work and making this manual. So I'm gonna move my stuff out of the way. Okay. All right. So grab your throw pillow. The first 30 seconds of work, all we're going to do is start with a little bit of a rock the baby sway. And then once you've got your feet arranged, so we want to keep the hip points pretty level. We're just bending one knee and then the other. And now take your pillow and just start to pass it around your waist. And then here we're just doing that little check-in. How are your shoulders feeling? How are your knees feeling? Your ankles and your feet. And then while we're here, just warming up, if you are in an area where there is poor air quality, it is more beneficial to exercise inside where you have the windows closed and air conditioning or filtered air running rather than being outside in polluted air. So just know that you're better off doing an exercise inside. If you're going in one particular direction, go the other way. So if you're in a place where the air quality is poor, and I'm talking in the orange and into the red, then you want to make sure you do your exercises inside. And even with that, you want to make sure that you are moderating your pace, paying attention to your breathing, paying attention to your heart rate, and making sure that you stay safe in the work that you're doing. Okay, now we're taking it into a figure eight pass. So you're just going to pick up one leg, pass it underneath, pick up the other leg, pass it underneath. Take a few times through and then just notice, where's your balance at this morning? How's your hip flexors feeling? How do your feet feel? Take one more time through, and then we're going to go 30 seconds on one leg, 30 seconds on the other leg. It doesn't have to look like anything in particular, but you're just going to toss your pillow up and down, stand on one leg, toss it up and catch it. We got 30 seconds on this leg. If your balance feels like it's way off, you have an option to put your toe down, but we do want to create a slight imbalance. And then we want that pillow to go past your line of vision if you can. My ceiling's pretty short, so I can only throw so high, but you want to make it short. It goes past your vision if you can. All right, when you're ready, stand on your other foot and then keep that toss going. Same thing here. You might choose to put your toe on the ground, but we do want to create a little bit of an imbalance and toss that pillow at least past your eyes. And time. Nicely done. Okay, you're going to take that pillow. You're going to go for a pretty wide setting of your pillow. So go for the widest place that you can get it. Put it between your legs, your knees, and your inner thighs. We just want to keep a little bit of contact in that inner thighs. And now we're going to do our memory squats. So you're going to reach one hand across. We're going to go thumb facing out, grab your earlobe with a little pinch. And now the other arm is going to go across, grab your earlobe. We want the thumbs facing out if we can. And now we're going to squat, but we're going to use our breath to do that work. So you're going to inhale as you lower down, exhale as you rise up. So that's part of the work. The breath control is part of the memory squat. Inhale, lower down, exhale, rise up, and then just keep that going. We've got 1 minute on the clock. It does not need to be fast. It's more about that breath connection. And I don't care how far down you squat, just squat a little bit, but think about keeping your heart slightly lifted. So we're not trying to put the heart forward. We want to keep the heart and the chin lifted. Keep that little acupressure point. So we're squeezing on the ears just slightly. Inhale, lower down, exhale, rise up. And time. Nicely done. Okay, release your arms, give your shoulders a little shrug. Grab your pillow, shake your legs out. Now, this next one we're going to do, I'm going to say something before we go, just so you make sure that you go for the place that feels the best to you. We are going to be balancing our pillow on our head. We're going to walk ourselves forward and back. And if we can, we're going to grab our hand weights and hold them in a farmer's carry. So I would say go with your light weights, get your pillow on your head, put your weights in position, and now we're walking forward and backwards, and we're going to try to keep that pillow nice and balanced on our head. Don't go fast. And then here's where my safety cue is really important. If the pillow falls off your head, don't try to grab it. Just let it fall, because you'll have your weights in your hands, and I don't want you to accidentally hit yourself in the head with your hand weights. So walk yourself forward and back. Try to keep that pillow balanced on your head best you can. If it falls, let it fall, and then pick it back up. And now, if this feels good, you've got a nice walking pattern going on, and you want a little bit of extra, you're going to think about keeping a slight double tuck of your chin. So you're pulling the chin slightly down and back. You're going to try to keep your eyes focused forward, so you're not trying to look at your feet. You know where you're going. Arms are held slightly away from the side of the body, so about 4 inches or so away from the side. And then if you like just a little extra something for the low back work, you're going to keep your knees micro bent, so you're never going to lock out your knees, and you're going to draw your tailbone slightly down. A nice slow walking pattern, because it's a lot going on. And then again, just be mindful, if the pillow falls, let it fall. Don't try to catch it or grab it. Once it's all the way down on the ground, then catch it and put it back on. And time. Nicely done. Okay, place that pillow down on the ground. Stick with your hand weights, or switch to a heavier set if you like to play around with different variations of your weight. 1 foot on the pillow, 1 foot off. It's going to be squats for 30 seconds one side, 30 seconds the other side. Load up at the shoulders, sit your butt down and back, rise back up. We've got 1 minute on the clock. At the 30-second mark, we'll switch which foot is on. How you arrange your legs and your knees is going to be what feels the strongest to you. For some of us, toes and knees pointing forward feels good. For some of us, a slight external rotation where the toes and the knees are pointing slightly out. But we do want our knees and our toes tracking with each other. So we want them going in the same direction. We don't want the knee going in as the foot is out. All right, when you're ready, step over and across, other foot on that pillow, right back to your squats. And time. Nicely done. Okay, grab your toe band. Now we're going to put our toe band around our 2 big toes, but this is going to be work that we do in standing. And then I'll say the second minute of work, it's going to be a toe banded calf raise. So if you're concerned about your balance, put yourself near a wall. That way you don't have to walk around and scramble to get into place. So we're going to take our toe band, put it around the 2 big toes. Once you've got it around your 2 big toes, we're going to walk our feet out just enough so that we have about 2 centimeters between those 2 big toes. Keep a good, strong, and even spread between the toes. And now we're going to go big toes up, 4 small toes down, and then big toes down, 4 small toes up. So we're working through the feet. Take your time. It does not need to be fast. We want control here more than anything else. If you get to where you are in super control, everything is flying at all 4 cylinders, then you might choose to go with a nice bit of speed. But for right now, as we build that strength in our big toe line, go slow, be mindful. You can look at your feet, and then once you've got that going on and you know what you're doing, you may choose to look forward. I often find that my fingers are helping do the work. We want to keep that big toe line as strong as we can, because that connection comes all the way up to our low back. So when we feel like there's a little imbalance down at the bottom half of the body, we compensate for it up that chain. We got 12 seconds left. Nice job. Now we're going into our calf raises. We've not done the toe banded calf raises before. So place yourself where you feel the strongest. We want to keep that nice even space between those two big toes. We want that good spread of the toes. Keep them nice and strong. If this feels like it's not quite enough work, grab your hand weights. If it feels like it's a little bit asking much of the big toe, place yourself near a wall. Use a handhold to get the work in the feet. That's our focus for this morning on these calf raises. But if it's feeling really good and strong, grab your hands weights and add just a little bit extra something on so that you're working through the entire frame of your body. You're already halfway there. Every once in a while, just take a little sneaky peek, watch those big toes, make sure that they're not accidentally collapsing in towards each other. We want to keep that good, strong spread of the toes. 20 seconds left. You got this. Nice job. And time. Beautiful. Okay, take that toe band off of your toes, give your toes and your ankles a little wiggle. And now comes the big show. This is the big move that we've all been dreading. I'm kidding, but we're just going to get up and down off the ground. That's all you have to do. Varying patterns. So you're just going to come down all the way. Maybe you sit on your butt and then you're going to come all the way back up. Go hands free if you can. Switch the hand that leads and helps you get up. This one is not so much about speed. It's about just finding ways to come up and down off of the ground. So you might come all the way down onto your belly, any little varying pattern that helps you just explore ways and places where you may find weakness, where you may find your strength. So play around with coming up and down, hands free if you can. It's not about speed, it's about control. Nice job. 16 seconds left. You got this. All right, now the next time you come down, we're going to take it into a knee down lunge position. So start to find your way down with one knee down. You can take your pillow and place it under that knee, because now we're going to stay in this position. If you put that pillow under the knee, it's going to do two things. Number one, it's going to create a little bit of an imbalance. Number two, it's going to put a little cushion under your knee. We want a slightly wide lunge so that front leg is going to step out just a little bit. And now grab your hand weights. It's going to be 30 seconds one side, 30 seconds the other. So a slightly wide lunge. We're going to think hip hinge. So we're going to hip hinge, touch to the inside of that front foot, come all the way back up and give an overhead press. 30 seconds on this side. Pillow under the knee or pillow off. That one's going to be totally up to you. Under the knee, it will create a little bit of an imbalance. So you need to keep that butt muscle kicked on and your quadricep muscles will be slightly more fired up. Nice job. All right, when you're ready, we're going to set ourselves up to the other side. So step yourself through that lunge. If you opted for that pillow underneath your knee, reset yourself, go for that wide position. So that front leg is slightly wide, load up at the shoulders, hip hinge, touch to the inside of the foot, overhead press. We got 30 seconds. Take the work at your pace. Ten seconds left. And time. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to be in a high kneel position. If kneeling on your knees feels a little fatiguing sometimes, feel free to stand up for this one, but it's going to be one arm and then the other. So we're going to alternate between the two. One arm is going to stay chambered at the shoulder. One arm is going to do a front raise, a 45, a lateral raise, and then we're going to bring it behind the head for a back raise, halo, and then switch to the other arm. Front raise, 45, lateral, and then bring it behind the head, circle around, load up at the shoulder. You've got it. So we're going to alternate between the two. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Go at your pace. But if kneeling feels like it's just asking too much of your knees, come into standing. You'll still get the same amount of work here. We want to keep a slight firmness in our belly and a little bit of a squeeze in our glutes. And then I should say, as we exercise, when our breath starts to come up a little bit, we start to breathe in and out through the mouth. Breathing through the nose offers a filtration system that breathing through the mouth does not provide. So that's where, if you're exercising outside in poor air quality, you definitely want to make sure that you slow your pace down and make sure you can stay breathing in and out through your nose, just to add that little bit of buffer. Okay, that's time. We are now taking it into a sideways crawl. So move your weights a little bit off to the side. We're going to be crawling sideways. And if you want, you're going to add a little bit of a knee lift in between each little sideways crawl. So you crawl to one side, pick up your knees, and then we're going to crawl all the way to the other side. So we're walking our way sideways. Coordinate your hands in a way that makes the most sense to you. If you like that little knee lift, just to add that little extra core work, crawl, knee lift, crawl, and knee lift. You got it. If you want that big challenge, you'll keep the knees lifted the whole time. But sometimes finding that nice coordination and adding that knee lift is a nice way to find both bits of work. And then you keep your energy level in check so that you're breathing comfortably. You're already halfway there. And time. Nice job. Okay, we're going to come down onto one side and we're moving right into some side leg lifts. So how you choose to position the upper body is like what feels the most comfortable to your shoulder, your head, and your neck. I'm going to go slightly down with my head supported because I find that one's the nicest. It gives me a little bit more room in my waist to lift my leg. But we're going to keep the top leg, toe and knee pointing forward. We're going to lift and lower down with control. We have 1 minute on the clock. Take the work at your pace. We want to make sure that the upper body feels strong and stable. And the leg lift is not necessarily about height. It's about control. And you want to feel that work happening side of the hips, side of the glutes. "15 seconds left. And time. Nice. Okay, we're coming through to a V-sit and then we'll flip over to the other side. So the next minute of work, we're going to be in a V-sit. You're going to grab your toe band, but now we're going to use it around the thumbs. So you're going to take your two thumbs, you're going to put it in between, and then you're going to crisscross your fingers, lean back into a little V-sit, and you're going to twiddle your thumbs. So you're circling your thumbs. Keep a nice tight position of your belly. Nice strong position with your arms. If your thumbs have anything going on, if you've got arthritis and that feels like it's asking a lot, go without the toe band and just circle the thumbs. But if you can add that little element of strength, circle your thumbs in one direction, keep that core locked in the whole time. So we're leaning back just enough that we feel nice and strong. All right, if you're going in one direction with those thumbs, now reverse and go the other way. People say, how was your fitness class today? Oh, it was great. We twiddled our thumbs the whole time. 15 seconds left. You got this. Woo, and time. Release your thumbs, give your hands a little twinkle, shake out your wrists. But now we're flipping over to the other side to get that other side leg lift. So flip yourself onto your other side, whichever upper body position feels the best to you, whether you're up on the elbow and forearm, you'll want to keep those ribs nice and solid, or come down a little bit lower. I just like that because it gives my waist a little bit more room. Top leg nice and long, toes and knees pointing forward. We got 1 minute on the clock. Go at your pace. 5 seconds left. Woo, and time. Nicely done. Okay, we're flipping over onto our backside. We're going to take our pillow, put it between our knees or our inner thighs. We're working into our hip bridges with that pillow between the knees. And if you want a little extra, grab some nice heavy hand weights and you'll load up at your hip points. So just the loaded up hip points only if that feels good. Otherwise, just keep the pillow between your knees. And now we're going to exhale as we lift up. Inhale as we lower down. If you like that little extra bit of cueing, think about keeping the back of your ribs connected towards the ground. Lift your butt and squeeze, lower with control. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Loaded or unloaded, that's going to be totally up to you, but keep that pillow between your knees and your inner thighs just to keep that nice inner thigh connection and that nice even space. And time. Beautiful. Okay, we're keeping that pillow between our knees if we can. We're going to lift the legs up now so that they're in that reverse tabletop position. Grab your hand weights, load straight in front of the chest. And now we're going to do our double toe taps and keep those arms loaded in front of the chest. For some of us, it'll feel slightly better to have the low back pressing down into the ground, keeping that contact point. For some of us, it'll feel slightly stronger to have the slight natural curve of your back. And then for some of us, it'll actually feel a little bit better to curl up the head, neck, and chest just a little bit to keep that core engaged. So go to the place where you feel the strongest, where your back likes this work. If your back is hurting during this work, readjust and see if it feels any better. And then if you're working on your hip health or that pelvic floor health, you're going to exhale on your effort, which exhale for me means that right as my toes are about to touch the ground, that's where my exhale happens. And time. Nice job. Okay, set your weights off to the side. Set your pillow off to the side. Now we're going to take the knees over to the right. So we're going to keep our inner thighs and our knees slightly together. Drop the knees over to the right. Right hand on the belly, left hand behind the head. And now we're doing an oblique crunch. So we're using those side belly muscles. So the knees are dropped over to the right, right hand on the belly, left hand behind the head. And we crunch up through that side body. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Take this work at your pace. Again, if you like that breath work, you'll exhale as you crunch up and inhale as you lower down. Awesome job. 5 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, take a moment to come through center, do a little windshield wiper, just kind of soothe some things out. And then once you feel like, okay, I've taken a breath, we're dropping those knees right over to the other side. So knees are going to drop over to the left, left hand to the side of the abdomen, right hand behind the head. And we're crunching up using those oblique muscles or those side belly muscles. So you're going to exhale to crunch up, inhale to lower down. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take it at your pace. 5 seconds left. And time. Nice job. Okay, our last minute of work is super nice. We're just taking it into a supine twist. Now, if you have a favorite variation of supine twist that doesn't match what I'm about to cue, go to the one that you like the best. But for some of us, it feels nice to pull the knee up towards the chest, gets around that sciatic nerve, and then draw it over and across the body into your twist. So we're going for a twist in the spine. That's the work that we're shooting for. And then once you've got a little bit of twist in your spine, breathe into your rib cage. Nice full deep breaths in and out through your nose if you can. All right, when you're ready, bring that knee in toward your chest and we're switching over to the other side. So if you like that, pulling the knee towards the chest, left leg goes nice and long. And now we're taking that right knee over to the left, right arm opens wide and maybe your head turns to the right. But if you have a variation that you like better or that you know feels better in your body, go for that one. We've got 30 seconds on the clock and all you got to do once you're there is breathe nice and full into your rib cage. And time. Beautiful. As you pull that right knee back into your chest, bring the left knee in as well. So both knees are hugged in towards the chest. And we're just going to do a little bit of a gentle rock side to side just to soothe the low back and give a little stretch to the glutes and a light stretch to the low back. And then if all is feeling good, now we're going to keep those inner thighs and knees together. Take your knees and draw them in a couple of gentle circles, circle in one direction. Circle the other way. One more circle around. And then for our final nice little stretch, we don't typically do this position, but it's nice. And with the pillow, it gives that soft support. So you're going to take your pillow, you're going to tuck it really close against your tailbone, against your butt. And then you're going to take a little gentle back bend, but most of the arching is going to come through that low back and middle back area. So with that pillow underneath your low back and underneath that soft tissue of your abdomen, let your shoulder heads relax down, arms wherever feels the most beneficial. So for some of us, that might be out in a nice wide T. And for some of us, that might feel a little bit better in a more of a Y shape, slightly up and overhead. So find a place where your arms feel good, a place where your knees feel good and your back feels good. And then once you're there, all you got to do is take 3 nice deep breaths. Once you've completed that last breath, pull your arms in, support yourself as you come up. So use your elbows, anchor down into the ground, and then come up and take your pillow, just tuck it under the bend of your knees, and we'll finish with a little forward fold. So nice gentle bend in the knees, fold yourself forward. So now we're stretching the low back, breathing into the back of the rib cage if you can. It does not ever matter if you can touch your toes. We want that stretch to happen in the low back and bent knees so that we're even gentle against the backs of the legs. Take 3 breaths here. Beautiful. When you're ready, come up and out of that fold. Take your time coming up. Grab your foam roller if you're sticking around. You guys are amazing. Nice work today. Be just you and me because we're starting long roller. We're starting on the long spine. Woo! All right, so place your roller down on the ground and we're coming right on down. Tailbone on one end, head down at the other end. Take your time as you come down. And then once you're on the roller, arms are going to come out nice and wide, palms facing up. And then all you got to do here is breathe. Take about 5 more cycles of breath. So we're going to stay here just a little bit longer than we normally do. Now we're going to stay in this long roller position, but now we're going to start to add our snow angel arms, but we're going to see if we can coordinate with the breath. So arms are going to come down alongside the hips. As we inhale, arms are going to reach up and overhead, but we're going to see if we can go for a 6 count of breath. So inhale for a count of 6, arms come up and overhead. Exhale for a count of 6 and arms are going to come down. And just see if you can slow the breath down to match that count. Your count is your count. So inhale up for a count of 6 is just whatever count of 6 makes sense to you. Exhale for a count of 6, arms come back down. One more cycle through of breath. And then the next time your hands come down alongside your hips, we're going to go left hand down and then right hand's going to reach up. So we're going to take it into those nice swimming arms. So find that oppositional reach, but then we're going to do that little bit of pandiculation. So as you reach one arm up, reach the other arm down like you're stretching them away from each other, and then float through the center so that we meet in the middle. Right arm down, left hand reaches up, and then we do that little bit of a yawning reach and then bring it back in. Meet in the center. Stretch them out and away, get that little bit of a yawning reach, and then bring it back in, and then just take a few times through at a pace that feels nice to you. Awesome. Now, the next time your hands meet in the middle, we're going to stay there for a moment. Palms are going to face in towards each other. And now we're going to hug the shoulder blades down around the roller like you're trying to crush the roller with your shoulder blades. And then reach the fingers up towards the ceiling and let the shoulder heads round. Pull the shoulders down, squeeze around the roller. Reach your fingertips up and round your shoulders. Take a few times through there, just finding a pace that makes the most sense to you. And now we're going to take it into some scapular circles. So we're going to roll the shoulder heads around, roll in one direction. And then when you're ready, reverse and go the other way. One more circle around, and now we're going to take our arms into big, giant arm circles. So just nice, big, generous circles at any range of motion that makes sense to you. One more circle around in this direction, and then when you're ready, reverse and go the other way. Nice. One more circle around. And then when you're ready, we're going to come off of the roller. So we're going to roll off to one side. Take your time as you come over and off. And then you're just going to move that roller down so that it's placed in a position where you can get it underneath your Achilles tendons. Once you've got both Achilles tendons or those really nice and close to the ankle, get a little bit of a just pulsing rock. So you're just going to push the heels slightly forward and back and then just kind of tune in, notice how the skin and the Achilles tendons feel. One more little pulse and push, and then we're just going to rock a little bit side to side. And then if anything was feeling really tender, you might choose to stay with that light and gentle pulsing push. But if things were feeling good, you're going to stack one foot on top of the other, and we're going to push down and go a little bit deeper into it. So you'll push down and the heel pushes forward. And then maybe you turn the foot to one side and then maybe you turn the foot to the other side. So you find little variations there. So you get a nice even spread of work going across the back of the ankle and the Achilles tendon. Nice. Take one more time through. And then if you opted to stack, put the other leg on top and then back to that work on the other side. Push down and forward. And then if it feels good, alternate. Maybe turn the toe to one side, turn the toe to the other side. Beautiful. One more time through. And now we're going to place one foot on and one foot down on the ground. And we're just going to gently steamroll the top of the foot using the other foot as a guide. So one foot on the roller is going to do the work. Place the other foot on the ground and then just do a couple little rolls up and down. One more little roll up and down, and then we're just going to switch to the other foot, reposition anything that you need to, but that foot's going to do the work. So you're going to gently push down, roll up and down the top of the foot. Lovely. One more roll up and down the top of the foot, and then both feet on the roller, just do a nice, quick, soft roll to the bottom of the feet just to kind of soothe them out. About 2 or 3 rolls left, and then we're going to move right into our foam roller walk where we walk it up the backs of the calves. So we're going to walk up towards the backs of the knees and then walk back down towards your ankles. Nice. One more walk up and down, and then we're going to walk the roller up underneath our knees into the bend of the knees, and then take a nice big breath. Reach up and overhead, think up and over, and as you exhale, reach towards your feet. And then once you're in that folded position, take 3 nice deep breaths. Cool. Now we're going to come up and out of that fold just a little bit so that we can bend the knees. Scoot your roller off to one side, and then we're going to just do one leg at a time. So we're going to drag the back of the knee. So we're going to hold onto the end of the roller with your hand or with your foot. That'll be totally up to you. But the right leg is on, back of the knee, and you're going to push down and drag across. So we're going to do that little bit of a toe turn. And it's not so much about getting big range of motion. It's about catching the skin, the connective tissue, and lymph nodes in the back of the knee. And we just kind of want to smush that material from side to side. So we want to do a little bit of a pin and drag. Feel free to make little readjustments if you want to get other parts of the back of the knee covered. It will create a little bit of a warmth and heat. We don't want to get like a burn on the back of the leg, but you might feel a little bit of sensation of warmth. Take one more drag across, and then hang out there for a moment. Keep that bend in the knee. The other leg is going to go nice and long. We're just going to fold down, reach towards the toe, just get a little gentle stretch, and then come right back up and out of it. And we're going to pass the roller over to the other side. So one leg on, one leg off. How you choose to hold on to the roller is totally up to you. You can use your hands or use your foot, but now we're just going to drag the back of the knee. Reposition if you're getting one place a little too much and you want to cover just a little bit of extra ground. Notice that sensation of heat or warmth that might be generated there. And then when you're ready, rest that knee on, fold yourself gently down just to create a little bit of stretch or stress through the backs of the legs and the back of the body, and then come right back up and out. And now we're going to repass that roller over and across, and we're going to go single leg on. So we're going to go back of the thigh now. Other leg is going to be bent and help support. And then we're going to do a nice good roll across the back of that thigh. So we're going to get as much ground covered on the back of the thigh as we can. And then once you feel like you have a pretty good position with your hands and your standing leg, then you're going to add a little toe turn. So you might turn the toe out, get along the back side of the thigh and the inside of the thigh. We're not trying to shoot for the IT band. We're trying to cover as much ground on the back of the thigh as we can. Beautiful. One more big roll up and down. And then when you're ready, we're going to take that over and across to the other side. So bend your knees, slip that roller over and across, get it underneath the back of the thigh. Right leg is going to support. Once you've got a good position, roll up and down, and then see how it feels to make other little variations. Turn the toe in, turn the toe out. Beautiful. One more roll up and down. And then set your butt down. And then just to work across the tops of the thighs and the tops of the knees, we're going to use our hand hold. We're going to just start by just kind of turning in and out, and like you're pushing and dragging. So you want to think about pushing and dragging the side of your knee, pushing and dragging the other side of your knee. Work on one side. And then when you're ready, work on the other knee. And now we're going to take it up one thigh. So we're going to go up and down. So you might go into that middle thigh, center of the thigh, outside of the thigh. So use your roller like a pin and drag. And then we just move the leg around to get access to any points that might feel good. Lovely. One more pin and drag on this side, and then take it over and across to the other leg. One more pin and drag on that leg, and then take it through the center of both thighs. Take like 3 drags upward. So rather than rolling down, just pick it up, move it back down to the knees, and then drag it up. And then on this last one, as you drag it up, we're going to hug it into that hip points in the belly tissue and do a quick little rock side to side. And then once you've rocked a little bit side to side, now take it into that bigger drag. So we're going to push and drag across the midline, push and drag across the midline. Take one more push and drag across the midline, and then hug that roller nice and tight against your abdomen. Fold over just enough that you can hook your elbows on. We want a little bit of compression in the belly. And then we're going to take 3 nice deep breaths into the rib cage. So just get that little bit of a tight squeeze so you feel the roller against your abdomen. Breathe nice and deep into your rib cage. 2 more cycles of breath. Awesome. And then release. And now we're going to flip that roller around to our back side and then pop our butt up and over. So once you've got that roller behind you, lift your butt up and over. And then once your butt's on the roller, we're taking it into that big roll across. So we're just taking it from side of the glutes to side of the glutes. Awesome. The next time you roll over to the right, stay there and take a couple of nice generous rolls up and down. One more nice generous roll up and down. And then when you're ready, roll over and across to the other side and then take some nice generous rolls up and down here. Beautiful. One more generous roll up and down, and then come through center, hands on the roller, just to hoist your butt up and off that roller. And then we're going to go for a big roll of the whole spine. So we're going to get our back on the roller. We're going to keep our abs nice and firm so that the low back is supported. You're going to gently pick your breath up and see how it feels there. And if you feel like, oh no, my back just collapsed onto the roller, then you're just going to stick with the upper part of the body. But if your back's feeling strong and your belly feels like it's strong and in control, you're going to take that big generous roll. So we're going to go all the way to the low back, all the way up to the shoulders. But if you feel like you're not in good control, stay in the upper structure where the rib cage is so that it's a nice supported, strong position. Hands behind the head if that feels like a nice way to go. Take one more nice big generous roll up and down, and then we will come back to the back, but for a moment, roll onto one side, take that roller, and we're going to pop it up into that soft side body tissue. Once you've got it underneath the soft side body tissue, we're going to do just little gentle rocks forward and back. One more little rock forward and back, and then we're going to start to work our way up the line of the side body. So lift up, move up about 1 inch or 2, and then rock forward and back. And then as you start to move up along the rib cage and those bony prominences, just be mindful of how far you go so that it feels like nice work and not pressure against the bones. One more rock forward and back, and then move it up 1 inch or so, and then come back to that rock. When you're ready, lift up, move up another inch or so. When you're ready, move up another inch or so. When you're ready, move up another inch or so. As you go along the way, you will readjust that bottom arm so it gets out of the way so you can find work all the way up the side of the body. Nice. And then move it up so that your bottom arm is on top of the roller. Get it nice and flush up against the roller. Get your bent knee position. And we're going to take 3 open and closes. So we're going to open out nice and wide into a twist, look to that hand, and then bring it back in with control. Open up that hand, open up with a twist. Inhale and bring it back in. On this last one, we're going to hang out there and hold. So exhale, open up into a twist, look towards that hand, and take another big cycle of breath here. Nice. And then when you're ready, bring it back in with control. And now we're going to get up into the armpit and the chin on the roller. So you'll reposition your roller so that you can get your chin on, and we're going to get a good portion of the armpit on the roller. So get nice and heavy. The armpit's on the roller, chin is going to be on the roller, and then we're going to do just little chin circles. So you're going to put as much pressure on the chin as feels good, and then draw little micro circles with your chin. If you're going in one particular direction, go the other way. Take one more circle around, and then slowly and mindfully come up and off the roller, and then we're going to move it on to the other side. So I'm going to spin myself around so I'm facing out, but you turn yourself around in the way that makes the most sense to you. Get it into the soft side body tissue, and then we're going to start to work our way up the side body on the other side. So we're going to find that gentle rock forward and back. One side might feel different from the other, so you always want to make sure that you honor the side that you're working on. When you're ready, move it up an inch or so, and then rock forward and back. Move up another inch or so, and then come back to that rock. Always options to pause along the way. If you find any places that want a little extra attention, feel free to stop there and breathe. But if it feels good to keep moving on up, move on another inch. Nice. And then when you're ready, move up again. Move on up again. And then when you're ready, we're going to take that top hand. So we're getting up along that armpit area. Top hand is going to lay nice and tight up against the top of the roller. And then the bottom hand is nice and tight up against the roller. Top hand is going to meet palm to palm. And then we exhale, open up into a little twist. Inhale, bring it back in. Exhale and open up. Inhale, bring it back in. Exhale, open up, hang out there, take an extra cycle of breath. When you're ready, bring it back in with control. And now we're going to go armpit and chin on. So we're going to spin ourselves forward just a little bit so we get a good portion of the armpit on the roller, chin on the roller. And then once you've got your chin on the roller, draw those little micro circles with your chin. And then when you're ready, reverse and go the other way. Awesome. One more circle around, and then come up and off slowly, gently, mindfully. Come off it, and then we're going to reposition it so that we can roll the back one more time. So bring it behind you, under the shoulder blades or under the low back, just wherever you felt the most benefit happening for your roll. Get yourself set up, hands behind the head, and then when you're ready, a few slow motion generous rolls. So really nice and slow here. Nice. Now, the next time you come up to that upper middle back, so think about where the bra line is, lower your hips down to the ground, and we're going to lean over the roller and then come up with a little bit of an abdominal crunch. Lean over the roller. Come back up with a little bit of a contraction of the abdominal muscles. Lean over the roller. Come back up, and now we're going to move up a little bit further. So we're going to scooch the butt down so we come up a little bit further into that upper back, lean over the roller, and come back up. Lean over the roller, come back up, Do that one more time. Lean over the roller. Come back up, and then we're going to move up one more time. So now we're getting pretty high up into that shoulder area. So you might not get big range of motion. So only go as far as feels good. Lean back over the roller. Come back up. Lean back over the roller. Come back up. Last one here. Lean over the roller. Come back up, and now we're going to sit all the way up, and now we're going to take it around so that we're spinning around onto our in a prone position, and we're going to get the roller underneath our front hip points. So take your roller and take yourself around in any way that makes the most sense to you, but we're going to get up and over so that our front protruding hip bones are lined up on the roller. And then once you're there, we're going to do little micro rolls. So toes and elbows and forearms are going to help do that little micro roll. Just an inch or two up or down. So we're not trying to get big range of motion here. We're just gently trying to work in that delicate area. So be mindful of how much pressure you put on. Make sure that you're breathing comfortably and you're in good control. And I know that you are. I just have to say that. One more little roll up and down, and then we're going to roll over to the right. So place your knees down so you roll with control. Roll over onto that right. We want to get nice and high up on the side of that right hip, and then roll up and down if that feels good. One more roll up and down. And then carefully and mindfully come through center. Take your time as you line up those hip points again. Once you're there, come over to the other side. Nice and slow and controlled. We roll over onto the side of the hip and then roll up and down just as much as feels good. Nice. One more roll up and down, and then carefully and mindfully come through center. But now we're going to lift the hip points up and place it under the belly button line. So we're going to get that roller underneath the line of our belly button. And then once you're there, we're just going to take a second to kind of squish around the belly. So you might drop your knees a little side to side, find a little bit of light massaging work to the abdomen, nothing extreme. And then just do that little check-in. How does your belly feel? If anything feels out of sorts, then you're going to come off of it right away. But if it feels comfortable enough to be there, find a stillness for a moment, relax your abdominal muscles. You might feel that little pulsing in your belly. Take a couple nice deep breaths and just give a little bit of time to let the muscles relax. We're shooting for 15 more seconds if you can stand it. If you're already there and you're like, this is too much for me, feel free to come off. But if you can stay in that relaxed position, if you can keep the abdominal muscles soft, we got 5 seconds left. Awesome. And then when you're ready, slowly prop yourself up to a tabletop position. And then through a tabletop position, we're going to go for extended child's pose. So big toes together, knees nice and wide. Bring your butt back towards your heels, and then take off your glasses, put them somewhere safe. We're going to go third eye center on the roller. So bring that roller in, rest that space right between your eyebrows onto the roller. And then we're going to draw little micro circles with the nose. So we want to keep that skin and connective tissue pinned against the roller. And then just draw those little circles. If you're going in one particular direction, reverse and go the other way. Lift your head up, move up a little higher on the forehead, and then just do a couple little gentle rolls side to side. One more little roll of the head side to side, and then lift your head on up. Come up nice and slow and controlled. We're going to